Every player on this team is just not good. 7-on-2, and this is the result. Give me one more goddamn teammate.
Can I pen you now?
Go fucking get him, team!
Oh,
God
man.
almighty! I was smarter as a sperm! Get my fucking ass off! These guys are sitting here. There's so many ways to not be bad.
Welcome back, everybody. Let 'em peek here for the I Need Intelligence Data podcast. Today we're joined with none other than Spartan Elite 43. What's going on, buddy?
What's up? Not a whole lot, man. It's been a crazy morning, but we're gonna make it happen for you guys.
Heck yeah we are. So, big news, as you know, I became a CC this morning.
I saw that. They're letting anybody get into the CCs nowadays.
It sure seems
But
that way.
congrats.
Thank you. But
also, can I just say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing streaming like 40 hours a week? Seriously.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I
just
figured
streamed
if
like 30 hours this weekend.
I did, dude. Yeah, I did a 17-hour stream the first night, followed it up with like another 12-hour stream, and then Sunday night into Monday stream for like another 6 hours. So whatever that total comes out to, it was a lot of streaming. It was a lot of World of Warships.
Wonder why you get burnt out some days.
I was
Straight
pretty tapped out by the end of the weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's be real.
I spent a few days just not playing at all. But
Understandable.
feeling good now though. Feeling good now. So, but you just came back from a trip, right?
Yeah. Yep. Come back from Philly and New Jersey, actually. It was a really quick trip. Nothing really of note happened. I mean, we went and we visited the Battleship New Jersey with Ryan Szymanski as our tour guide. And I got to fire a 5-inch gun. So that was fun. It was all fun. I enjoyed it.
So, I clicked on your video and I started watching it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to skip through to the good stuff. And I ended up watching the entire video. And one of the things I thought, the thing I found the most impressive was when you guys walked outside out of like, what was it? The one little room they have the 12 people sit in. Whatever room that was put in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
You guys walked out of that room and you turned and there's this gigantic square hunk of metal. And he's like, oh yeah, that's one of the 5-inch guns or whatever. And it was this huge thing. But that was a 5-inch gun? Really?
Did you not realize how big battleships
It was huge, dude.
Battleships are massive, and the secondaries are massive, man. You're talking a 5-inch gun. Let's put this into perspective. All right, a 5-inch gun, 127 millimeters. All right, each one of those turrets has 2 of them, because that's the 5-inch Mark 32. I could be wrong. Somebody's gonna crucify me in the comments. I apologize. But anyway, you have 2 127 millimeter guns per turret. And you have 20 of those. Well, you have 10, so 5 on either side of the ship. 5-inch guns on either side, so you get 10 per side. But
so your
they're
GoPro
massive,
kind of films like isn't it kind of like widescreen?
yeah,
a little bit.
It's epic. I like the wide view.
You guys walked outside, and then there was this gigantic fucking square hunk of metal, and I see that it looks exactly like the 5-inch on the Iowa in the game. And then he said 5-inch, and I was just, my mind couldn't wrap around the fact that that gun alone is bigger than the room that I stream in. Like, huge.
Yeah,
it was huge.
They're massive. Like, the room that we just came out of in that was the KEC, by the way. It was the Combat Engagement Center. That was one of the lower ceilings in the thing. As most people pointed out, the audio in that particular room sucked because I didn't realize, but I was standing directly under an air conditioning vent.
Yeah.
Which means that the GoPro switched from the front microphone to the rear microphone because it does that automatically when there's wind and stuff to try to give you better sound quality. But when it did that, like, that's why that's why you can barely hear Ryan there, and all you keep hearing is the humming from the AC unit. But you guys are at my just above my eyeballs in that, and I'm 6'2", so you guys are right around that 6'2" mark, and that's how low the ceiling is in that room. Like
I thought
had
that was
to
epic,
duck.
man. Like that whole room was awesome.
Oh, you
Like I
guys
could.
ain't seen nothing yet. Like y'all just straight ain't seen nothing. We got all the footage. Don't worry, there's gonna be plenty. We've got that was episode 1. That was 20 minutes of roughly 3 to 3.5 hours of footage. So we're gonna have plenty of videos. Plenty of
Well,
them.
I know I'm definitely going to be watching every single one that you
It,
have, like from now
it is
on. Like
pretty
it
awesome.
was, it
And
was so cool.
Ryan Szymanski's an awesome dude, man. He just straight is. Like he's
He was
exactly the
really
way you see
knowledgeable.
him in his videos in person. Like it's just he's that guy, which I can admire the hell out of, because honestly, that's just me. Like I am the same guy in person that you guys see there. Like I am just a goofy guy from the middle of nowhere. No real like persona. It's just me. So like that, I can admire the hell out of Ryan for that.
So,
His passion is what makes it special. But
how
yeah, go.
many episodes are we looking to get out of that series?
I don't have a set number. I am going to try to showcase every bit of footage that I can, within reason. I'm going to try to limit the episodes to about 20 minutes per.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you take 3 hours and divide by 20 minutes, you get roughly 9 episodes, right?
Yeah. So
So,
you're thinking max number 9, gonna trim them down a little bit, I'm sure, and just are you
dude,
gonna put it
me and
all out there
editing,
raw?
like, I'll be real. Editing and I don't get along. I'm lazy. So I am most likely just going to take the footage that I have, stitch it together so that there's no real like gaps in between the two. Like the transition should be nice and buttery smooth. And then, yeah, like as long as I get buttery smooth transitions, I want to put it out there so that pretty much everybody knows what, if you can never get a chance to go to see the ship yourself, you'll be able to tour it through my video, essentially. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was there, even though I wasn't there. Like
And
it
that was
would have
one of
been
the
really
reasons for the
cool.
head mount rather than the chest mount too. Is
Yeah,
just
a
so
little
like you see me
POV.
looking around
Yeah.
when I stick my head through a porthole. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
fat guy in a little hole coming up in a future episode. If you guys haven't seen that, like, or obviously you haven't seen that, but if you guys are interested, that's a funny moment right there. Even Ryan makes fun of me. It's great. It's fantastic.
Did you get
it's
stuck
staying
in a hole?
I am not giving any more spoilers. Fat guy in a little hole coming to a theater near you.
How was it to shoot the 5-inch gun?
All right, so 5-inch gun. Now, first of all, I gotta say this. It's not a full 5-inch charge, obviously,
Right,
because windows would be shattered nearby and all the
right.
things, and dogs would have heart attacks and whatnot. But it is still a fantastic thing. And I got the whole ka-chunka chunka trigger, like straight up, because we're not firing from inside it. Because obviously, if you were firing from inside it, you don't get to see it and you don't get to hear it the way you would if you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got this big trigger, this long cable that runs down the thing, and I get the old ka-chunka chunka cable, or like a trigger. Like it's fantastic. It's
Oh
fantastic.
man, what episode is that coming out? I have to see that.
Well, let's be real. Like that will be like grand finale sort of thing. So that'll
Gotcha.
probably be towards the end of the series.
Into the series.
But
Gotcha.
still, I promise the entire series is going to be worth it. Like we go through almost the entire ship, with the exceptions of like the living quarters and stuff like that for everybody, because clearly, I mean, there's 2,000 rooms or something like that for people.
Right, right.
Like there's enough living room for 2,000 people, so you can't go through it all. But we go through engineering. We go all the way up into the conning tower. We actually get out on top, just underneath the main radar and all of that, with the tripod mast right behind us. We get to see everything from up high, and that is actually where we get the fat guy in the little hole, which is hilarious. but coming back down through, we go all the way down. We go inside turret number 1, I believe, is the one that we entered. So we get to go inside the turret and see what that's like. We get to stick our head into places that aren't exactly lit up. We get to go into behind the scenes places that you will not be able to visit if you go yourself, because it's currently still being renovated. Like all of the things you will get to see. Like
Hell yeah.
we just went straight for it. I told Ryan when we started the tour, I was like, you take me where you want, and I am not going to decline anything. Like, just let's go. I want to see as much as we can.
That's amazing. I was surprised they're still doing renovations on it. Like they're
Oh
still
yeah.
upkeeping it. Like it's a constant thing to keep something that size and that old, like up to
Oh,
date, still
absolutely.
working, still functionable at some capacity, even as a
I didn't.
museum.
I don't know if you heard him when he said it, but Ryan literally said that it's going to take something like 5 years, $5 million to
Yeah,
just redo the teak wood deck. That's
yeah.
just the teak wood deck. That's not including the paint that it takes to paint a battleship. Like you got to remember, this thing is 3 football fields long and like 1 football field wide.
That's
Not quite.
insane.
It's like half a football field wide, but like it's no joke. It's 108 feet wide and it's 887 feet long.
Now, what ship class is that?
What ship class is
Was it an
the New
Iowa
Jersey?
class?
Yeah, Iowa. It's an Iowa class. One of
Oh,
the 4 Iowas, baby. And all 4 of the Iowas are still around, and all of them are museum ships. You have 2 on the East Coast. One is New Jersey, one is Wisconsin, 62 and 64. And then you have 61, which is Iowa herself in San Francisco. And you have Missouri, as Ryan says, or Missouri for me, but Missouri down in Pearl Harbor out there in Hawaii. So, like, you've got them
wow.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, what's the deal with those ships? I know they're museums, but if need be, could they be called back into service?
As Ryan would say, there's only ever been one time where a museum ship has been brought back into service, and that was Oregon, I believe. And that will likely never happen solely due to the fact that the cost that it takes to get a ship back up. Like they
Right.
did bring the Iowas back during the 80s, but they weren't museums at that time.
Right.
They were solely like they were a
Mm-hmm.
mothball fleet, and they brought them back into
Mm-hmm.
service. But it's probably never going to happen. And on
Right.
top of that, you also got to think that the Iowas, like battleships, are obsolete. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason to have a battleship anymore.
Right.
There's none, other than just flexing. You're like, hey, here's a 900-foot long
Right.
ship with 16-inch guns. But but honestly, there's no purpose for them anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll enjoy them as museums for as long as they stay around.
Oh, they're going to be around a long time, especially New Jersey. Ryan's super excited about the ship. Like that's the best part. Like we're going to get into me asking him a question on the episode that has the fat guy in the little hole. I straight up asked him. I was like, "So what made you become a museum curator?" And he goes into his whole story. So like that's coming up too. Like it's going to be awesome. I hope you guys really do enjoy it. It's going to be fun.
That's a really good segue. Talking about your trip, hanging out in the New Jersey, the Iowa class. That's a great segue to not only the video game we all love, Legends, but like you and your backstory with creating a YouTube channel. Like what brought you to World of Warships Legends?
All right, so if we're going to start with this, we got to start at the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so the very beginning of my YouTube channel, a lot of people look and see that my YouTube channel's been around since 2007. That's technically true because that's when I created my account, but that's not the truth of the story. I didn't start uploading videos to my YouTube channel like regularly until 2016, and in fact, it was like September, October of 2016. My mother had passed away in February, like day before Valentine's Day. I was not in a very great place in my life. I work in a job that I can't stand because the people that I work for. I was going to school full time, doing college, and then I ended up doing my YouTube channel. Basically, what started it was I needed an outlet. I needed to like just interact with people because I am antisocial just by myself. Like I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to meet new people. I just kind of just me. I keep to myself. But I needed something to talk, like just straight up talk. And I love video games. I love watching YouTube. And I watch a lot of people on YouTube who have channels that have really big followings and aren't really that entertaining, or at least in my eyes. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And so I started uploading videos mostly of World of Tanks console first, I did that for 2.5 years of 2 videos a day, 5 days a week, and sometimes posting on the weekend, and ended up with like 1,200 videos of World of Tanks console before I finally decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And about the end of the time that I was playing World of Tanks console, we had heard, like the last year of me playing World of Tanks console, we had heard that there was development happening on a small studio working on a new game for console from Wargaming, and I was excited. I knew right away. I was like, it's World of Warships. It has to be. And I had played World of Warships on PC a little bit, but I was awful, just straight awful. And it is so hard to jump in as somebody who has no idea what they're doing and play against people that are absolutely gods at the game, right? Or at least that's what it feels when you're first starting out. And so, like, it was awful. And I always said that I wanted to get back. And the end for me on PC was I was in my, I want to say New York. Okay, of course, me, American Battleship. I was in my New York. I come around an island, and there was a wall of skill. I dodged all but one torpedo, and I got detonated. Magazine detonation, all of my health from one torpedo. Lost my mind, and I uninstalled the game right there. I was like, if this game ever comes to console, and I can play against people that are my skill level and learn together, I'm going to enjoy the crap out of this game. And so when I heard about that, I kept bugging. Like, I was straight all over it. I was all over the forums. I was doing all the things. I was asking my people where I was a CC within Wargaming World of Tanks console. I was asking them about it. I was like, guys, if you guys can help me, give me like an insight so I can start like thinking about this. And then I saw it one day. I saw a message pop up that said, we are starting alpha testing for World of Warships Legends console. If you would like to join in on alpha testing, leave your information, and we will try to get back at you. Now, keep in mind, when I saw this, I had like 2,600 subscribers. Okay?
Yeah.
After 2.5 years, after 2.5 years of uploading 2 videos a day, 5 days a week, I was at 2,500 subscribers. And so I submitted it, and the first person I talked to is Fuligula, right? And I literally submit everything there, and I even put in there, like, I went full ham into this. I was like, well, I am also a small-time YouTuber. I have this many subscribers. I have blah, blah, blah. I have been a CC. I put my entire credentials in this thing. I was like, please select me as an alpha tester. I would love to get some firsthand, like, gameplay of this. And, of course, we were under NDA when I did, you know, long story short, get selected as an alpha tester. And I also was moved, alpha testers were moved into the beta as well. And as things kept progressing, I didn't get to play it a whole lot because during alpha and beta testing, they were only doing like playtime weekends. So during the week, there wasn't a whole lot of people on, but on the weekends, you could play against, get into matches relatively quickly. And so I didn't get to play as many games in the alpha and beta as I would like. And then it happened. The moment I had been waiting for. December of 2018, I get a message from Fuligula saying, hey, we are releasing the, what do they call that? What do they call it?
Super testers?
No, we're releasing the DMCA, essentially. We're releasing the copyright infringement on, or the NDA on it, so that you guys, the embargo, I was looking for the embargo. So they were releasing the embargo so that people could start making videos on it. And I was on that. I went whole ham. I was like, first video, welcome to World of Warships Legends. Went in there, did my thing. And this is still during beta testing, by the way, so there wasn't a lot of people. And so I made my first video, and then I started making guide videos, right? I started with the Citadel guide for beginners, the battleship, the how to, tips for new battleship captains and stuff like that. And that exploded my channel. All right. And not right away, obviously, because the game ain't out yet. Nobody's searching for it. But because I had made those videos so early, when the game did finally release in April of 2019, I was in the perfect place with just enough of an audience that YouTube picked me up and started pushing my videos out there, and it just exploded. So in January of 2019, January 1st, 2019, we hit 3,000 subscribers. Okay, that's how quickly this has gone from like low school, like small channel to somewhat relevant,
Hmm.
and 3,000 on January 1st of 2019. By April, Easter of 2019, I had hit 4,400 subscribers on Easter Day of 2019. So I just almost I took a third of my subscribers and gained that in 3 4 months. And
And then
then
fast
from
forward
there,
2 years, you're at what now?
yeah, and from there my channel has just skyrocketed. I
So
went through stupid amounts of like explosive growth, and now you guys all know and either love or hate me.
I mean, you are the biggest YouTuber for World of Warships Legends. Like you're the guy. Everybody, if you don't know Spartan, then you probably don't know anybody. 'Cause you're the biggest. You were the first to the market. You know, I think you even
One
one of
of
the
the
first people to go up to streaming for playing in 4K, right? Putting your videos out in 4K and
Oh, absolutely. I've been doing like the 4K as long as the game has had 4K.
yeah,
Because that was another thing that I did. I had asked folks, I was like, look, guys, I want to try, and this was during World of Tanks console, by the way. I was like, guys, I really want to get that 4K going. There's a new capture card available from Elgato called the 4K 60 Pro. It's extremely expensive. At the time, it was $700. It's extremely expensive. I was like, I cannot do this by myself. If you guys could help me get this, I would be forever grateful. And we will start doing 4K video for you guys. And sure enough, people donated enough money that I actually didn't have to spend a dime out of my own money to
there
get
you
it.
go.
And that is something that has never, like, I've never been able to comprehend is that people did that for me. And that's why I'm like, I always say, everybody, like, I'm super, super thankful for the people that watch my channel. Like, you guys don't understand. You just don't. Like, you don't understand the love that I have for you guys. Just
I
period.
mean, it's all
Like,
about
I
the
love you.
community. You wouldn't exist without the community, right? I mean,
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
but that's awesome. That's a really good story. Started with World of Tanks, did it for a long time, never really got anywhere. First one on Legends, blew you up, and now you're making enough off of just YouTube that that's all you have to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy part. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of me quitting my full-time job to do YouTube full-time.
That's
The end of
amazing.
July. The end of July is my 1 year of full-time YouTube. And it's
That's
been a heck of a
fantastic.
ride. It's had its ups and downs. There's a lot of
Right.
pressure that you put on yourself to try to make that a thing, because there are days that I don't want to do this, right? Like there are days where I wake up and I am just like, dude, do I really want to jump on the game? Like if you had a really bad day the day prior, as it took
Mm-hmm.
you 6 or 7 hours to get a good video to show people,
Mm-hmm.
like there are days that you wake up and you're like, I just don't want to record today. But then you think about it and you're like, if I don't record today, I don't get paid. I don't get paid, I go broke real quick. Like
And
that's just
you
how
don't
that
even
works.
stream. Like you straight up use OBS, right? Do you use OBS?
Yeah, I use OBS with my 4K 60 Pro.
So you use OBS, you record every single game just in the hopes that you have a good replay. Then you save that replay and you put it up on YouTube with a voiceover or with live comms or however you end up doing it. Like
Yep.
the rest of us, we all just usually stream and then go back in the stream and take, this little piece here and take this out and then upload that. And but you have to actually record every single game. That would be, I would forget to hit to record. I would do it all the time.
Yeah. That does happen occasionally, and it's usually when you have a good game too. It's
Mm,
saddening. But no, I've gotten pretty good at it over the years as far as making sure that I'm constantly recording. When I built my new computer, I say new computer, it's like 2 years old now. But when I built my computer, I built it for 4K video in mind, plus also some gaming, which has allowed me to get into some of the PC side of gaming to try to branch my YouTube channel out as well.
right.
But I ended up, let's see, I have a 3 terabyte standard hard disk drive, which is a like a super fast hard disk drive, but it's like just a regular magnetic discs hard disk drive, 3 terabyte there. I have a 1 terabyte SSD that I use for my operating system. I have a 2 terabyte SSD that I use for gaming on my PC. I have uh, the storage. The long story short, the storage required for YouTube is a bit ridiculous.
Right.
It's a bit ridiculous.
That's a big reason why I need to upgrade PCs. My PC is so dog water, it's not even funny. Like, my PC struggles to do anything. But
yeah,
with that in mind, I mean, I will be upgrading here shortly because, like your story, you know, like I've had people in my streams are donating me money, and plus I'm getting a little bit of ad revenue, not much. It's mainly off donations, but all that's going to buying a new PC so that I can do this even better. But that's a really good segue, though, into World of Warships Legends. The reason we're all here. Like, the game today. What is your favorite ship? You had to play one ship every single game, all day today. What's it going to be?
If I could only play one ship all day today, what would it be? Honestly, people are going to give me grief over this, but it would be Shima.
Oh, not the Iowa?
People are going to give me grief for this, but it would definitely be Shima. Think about this. If you could only play one ship for the entire day, like, I'm going to go with the one ship that I can, like, at least make sure that I'm not losing my freaking mind every single game on, because it's so broken. Everybody knows the Shima's broken, man.
Yeah.
4.5 kilometer surface detection, 15 torpedoes that do 23,000 damage a pop. You dictate the engagements. If you don't want to get seen, you don't have to be seen. Like, all of the things. Like, there's just no downside to that ship. It's got good guns, like decent reload on those guns. Like, there's just no downside.
Yeah, like I had a Shima today. I was holding my flank. I had a Kerr first push me. I had an Odin push me. I had someone bomb me from the mid, and I had a Shima out here in front of me. And this Shima ends up crossing off my bow at 4.9 kilometers, gets detected. I'm in a Yama. I have 50k, 55k. And he just floods straight in front of me. I start backing up and turning to get behind this little island I'm up against. Before I can even do that, I eat 4 torpedoes and die. We're talking 1 to the tip, 2 to the belt, and 1 in the cheek, and it was probably like 70,000 damage worth, 80,000 damage worth. I mean, that ship can put out over 340,000 damage every minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That is the most broken ship in the game, like, period.
Yeah. The only thing that compares with that as far as being broken is the Kamikaze for its tier. Like, Kamikaze's stupid. That ship should not be as strong as it is. 4.2 kilometer surface detection, reloading your torpedoes every freaking 35 seconds. Like, come on.
It can be on Konigsberg's sonar before it's detected. Yep. Visibly. I mean, that's a little nuts. That ship's a little nuts. So, that's your favorite ship. How do you feel about the game in today's meta being balanced between HE spamming cruisers, the light cruisers that you can never seem to citadel and delete, and now they just put in the German CVs that have the AP bombs that can citadel just about everything unless it's either a French battleship at high tier or an American battleship at high tier. And how do you feel the game is balanced today with these new introductions?
Well, let's start off by saying balanced and wargaming don't get along. Like, it doesn't happen. But what I will say is, you put enough broken things into the game and you start to balance the broken things. Okay?
Right.
So that's the one thing I will say is there are a lot of broken ships in the game. Like, it started with Iowa and Jean Bart, and then of course the destroyers have always been broken. Like, the Japanese destroyers have always been top of the roost when it comes to being broken on the game. And that is solely just due to the fact that World of Warships Legends decided that all of the destroyers need their surface detection reduced so that they can get stupidly close with their insanely powerful torpedoes and be able to just wipe anything off the map that they want and dictate the engagements. And
Yeah.
so that's a thing. So what do they do to try to beat that? It's kind of like the old farmer, what is it, like the farmer and the fly? Like he swallowed a fly, so then he swallowed a spider to get rid of the fly, then he swallowed a bird to get rid of the spider, and then swallowed...
Exactly.
Okay, so you're going way overboard, introducing lots and lots of broken mechanics and new things to try to balance the things that have been absolutely broken all along. Because wargaming doesn't like to nerf ships. They just don't. Because it ends up being such a huge PR backlash from people when they get ships nerfed. I mean, just look at Iowa and Amagi, okay? Let's just look at that for a minute. Iowa's nerf wasn't even that bad. Like, they reduced the AP damage, the maximum AP damage on the Iowa. The Amagi got nerfed into oblivion because they took away the one thing that the Amagi was incredible at, which was turning and being able to deliver full broadsides and then get back to, bow tanking. They took that away. And now you have to specifically build for turning to try to get some of that back. But then they made the ship more accurate, supposedly. And that has brought the Amagi to mostly irrelevant. You don't see a whole lot of Amagi.
You really don't.
Still see the Iowa.
Yeah.
You see a lot of Jean Bart's because Jean Bart's never been nerfed. Like, that thing is straight up not a freaking thing. Like, that thing is so broken. It's
well,
insane.
they really
French
can't
magic bullets,
nerf.
French magic armor.
Well, they got didn't they get into a lawsuit with nerfing premiums on tanks?
I don't remember all the things. They've
pretty
gotten in
sure
trouble multiple times.
I'm pretty sure they had a lawsuit with nerfing premiums. People paid for them, then they nerfed them, and then they got sued, and so now they can't nerf premiums.
And specifically the E-25, if I remember correctly, the little cockroach. But
yeah, I was
but
never
yeah,
into tanks
it
that
isn't
much.
that they can't nerf it because they could, obviously. It's just that the backlash isn't worth, the balance for them. So they choose not to most of the time. But the other side of it is, like, HE spammers. Let's get on to the topic that everybody loves. HE spammers are absolutely the most obnoxious thing to go against. Torpedoes, you can play against torpedoes. Even the super sneaky ninja torpedoes. Like, you can play against torpedoes. If you get put on a specific map, and you have 2 or 3 fire starters on your side that have cover, there is absolutely nothing you can do.
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You will be removed within 3 minutes of the match starting, no matter how good you are at dealing with your damage cons and, your heals and everything. You will just be removed. There's nothing you can do. And that is something that's insane. And on top of that, if you make that, and then on top of that, you go, well, these same ships that are able to absolutely remove, they have the highest DPM in the game. Let's put that out there. Like, they have the highest DPM in the game. They are capable of slinging rounds from the freaking satellites, for God's sakes.
Yeah, 19 kilometers.
Even trying to hug right up against islands. Like, there have been maps where I have been behind an island, beached, and they're still able to lob the island and hit my ship. Like, how am I supposed to play against that?
Right.
And then you shoot back at them, and my rounds take so long to get to you at 19 kilometers because, every fire starter needs to be able to lob 19 kilometers that they just get out of the way.
Right. Well, that's
and then if I do hit them, by some miracle, they decide not to change direction. I hit them, and I get 3 overpins.
That's the other thing is, like, HE spammers at 19 kilometers, they're going to win. Period. So if they were to suck the range in a little bit, that still wouldn't fix the problem, because Battleship's job is to remove it. Maximum deletus. It's supposed to be able to kill it, right? Like, fire spammers wouldn't be that bad. Like, so perfect example. I was playing a game today. I took out the Iowa. I had horrible dispersion, but I had one opportunity where I was not spotted before the Suzuki knew I was there to delete him. He was sailing broadside at 11 kilometers. I got a full 9-gun salvo off, 2 overpins, and everything else went in the water. If they have the ability to do that with at range and burn me down, then I need to be able to have the ability to have tight salvos and delete when I get an opportunity. Because you know what happened? That guy ended up burning me down because I couldn't hit him at 15 kilometers because my shells were too inaccurate. Yeah. So it's like, there could definitely be some tweaks made there to where HE spammers wouldn't be as bad, you know, if they were to shorten the ranges a little bit and make battleships have the accuracy to be able to delete, because now the overpin meta it's a pandemic. Overpin pandemic on cruisers, especially the light cruisers. Cleveland, Ochakov's not as bad, but still there. You know, you get the heavier cruisers, you can touch them. You know, yeah, Miyoko.
Well, what that does though, it makes it so satisfying when you get that one in 1,000 shot where you just remove that man at the beginning of a match or something. Like, it's so satisfying. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing a Cleveland and catching him early in a match and deleting him. There's just nothing more satisfying. Nothing.
But at the same time, there's other 999 other times that, you know, he's going to burn you down and he's going to go to the back of the map and stay at max range and you're going to sit there and just get burnt down, you know. So,
but, German aircraft carriers, the other thing that you mentioned.
Yeah.
They're broken. Everybody knows they're broken.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that you can really do. The only defense against it is to hope to God he doesn't choose you.
Exactly.
That's the defense. You can dodge all you want, but here's the thing about dodging. I see a lot of people say, well, just dodge, bro. Just dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I have to dedicate my entire game to avoiding the one guy that's got a hard-on for me because he doesn't have to put himself in any sort of danger whatsoever. So I have to start dodging him, right? Here's the problem. There are 8 other people on his team. Who am I giving a broadside to while I'm just dodging?
I know.
You know,
so
you can just dodge. You're right. I can absolutely dodge the bombs being dropped. That's not an issue. But while I'm dodging, there's a Yami sitting over there waiting for my broadside.
Or any other battleship. Or a DD. You know, there's a DD off your nose, and the DD sees you turning. It's like, oh, I'll just shit my torps out this direction.
The carriers don't belong. Like, the carriers just don't belong in World of Warships. Like, it's the same on PC. And on PC, they're even more broken than they are here. Like, we're still, like, early infancy carriers, and they've already buffed them and buffed them and buffed them and nerfed our AA and doing all the things. Like, they're steadily making it more and more towards the broken carriers.
So I've been playing a lot of Parsifal. The day they came out, I boosted all the way up. I had a game, 186k. I held the record for about 12 hours. And then somebody broke it. And I should have broke the record again today. But I needed one more second. I think you were there for that. That was very heartbreaking. I'm still not over it. But if you're a DD and like if a good Parsifal player is on the other team, have fun. Have fun. I mean, there's nothing you can do, really. I mean, those planes have so much health that, and your only defense is smoke. Well, I know whenever you pop your smoke, your shit's on cooldown. I can't tell you how many DDs I've death struck in their smoke. Because, you know, they pop their smoke, they slow down. Okay, just line up torps. I'll shoot them a boat length behind where you went unspotted. Bam! 2-3 torps, you're dead. Like, and even outside of that, you don't have smoke, you're sailing around. If a Parsifal player wants you, you're fucked. I mean, there's no defense. You're fucked. The only thing you can do is retreat to your team that has AA. Because those planes turn so tight, the torps come online so fast that it's a guarantee that I'm going to hit you with at least one torp almost every single time I drop. I'd say probably 85% of the time I drop 3 torps on you, I'm going to catch you with 1 torp. And it's crazy to me how many people in the game still don't know like the correct thing to do, but the torps drop is so tight. You know, even if you turn out, which is the correct play, good luck dodging them, dude, because there'll be a gap that's literally the size of your DD between the 3 torps. There's always 2 that touch, and there's 1 over here. And there'll be a DD size gap right there. And if you don't thread the needle, you're taking a torp. And
I
then,
usually turn in for torps because I want to get everybody almost always drops their torps at the last possible second. So if you turn in, generally
Right.
you can catch them without arming.
but the
So I
community
usually try to
doesn't
do
know
that
that.
if I have the option.
The community
But-
doesn't know that. And it's very apparent because I've been playing it a lot and I've been killing a lot of DDs. And on top of that, if you want to play a heavy cruiser, you want to play a German battleship, the new Georgia, what else? A Kurfürst, you're fucked. Like you're boned. Like there's the AP. My commander's like 14 Legend 1, or he's Legend 2 now, and I can Citadel everything besides high tier Americans, Yamato, Conqueror, and I don't think I've been dropping on JB and Richelieu the correct way, but that's it. I can Citadel over half the battleships in the game. A Citadel hits for 9,100 damage. Like, it's a meme, is what it is, and it all comes down to like your RNG of dropping where the bombs land. But it's almost always at least 1 Citadel on a flight of 3, and then on top of that, you take off with 6 airplanes. If I've got a solo target, I don't care what it is. It can be a Chicago, it can be a Lexington, you know, highest AA in the game. I'll kick 3 airplanes home. I don't need the booster. I'm going to send 3 right through your AA, fly around the flak, drop you for 1 to 3 Citadels, and you're not going to shoot down any one of those 3 airplanes. And then
Yeah, and then after you drop, you trigger the invulnerability booster, and then you save your planes. Like they don't even die.
you could do that.
That's what I usually use it for.
I've
Because
been
a lot of people have said that the invincibility booster isn't that big a deal. You know when it's a big deal? It's a big deal when you've still got a carrier that has all of his
into
planes
the game.
late in the
Exactly, dude. That's
game.
yeah,
That's a big deal.
that's a big
And
deal.
considering you have, if you're running fully packed, which a lot of people are, you run fully packed, you've got 3 of those on your torps and on your AP bomb.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
hello?
Yep. I mean, people
Well, it's
from my
only
stream.
6 seconds. Good God, Spartan. It's not that big a deal until I drop my bomb, Citadel you, and then use the booster to get away.
Well, and here's
becomes a
here's
big
the other
deal.
thing that I've been using the booster for. So, say like today, perfect example. A Gneisenau pushes the cap. He's pushing the cap. I take the AP bombs. I boom, nail him. Boom, nail him again. This dude's below half health. I've dropped him twice. He's got a third of his HP left. So he turns around and goes into his fleet of 8 enemy ships. There's so much AA that I know I'm not going to get there. So I kick 3 out. I send 3 back to the ship. Then I take 3, and right as I'm going into the AA, I pop the booster. I fly in. I double sit to the Gneisenau. He's done. He's dead. He's gone. Like, because I had the booster, I was able to get through 8 ships worth of AA to get the drop on the Gneisenau and kill him. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So I have to imagine there's going to be some changes there. I don't know how, but I can't foresee them because people don't even have the parcel yet. A lot of
but
people
here's-
don't have it yet.
Here's the problem. The issue has always been with the way wargaming balances ships is based off of everybody, right? So
Right.
the more people that play a ship, the less likely it is to be nerfed, solely due to the fact that you have great players playing the ship that are putting up 200K games, and then you have people who are playing the ship and putting up 20K games. And in wargaming's eyes, that balances the ship. So when they're looking at their spreadsheets, they're going, well, the average damage for this ship is this. It's right in line with all of the others.
Right.
That's how the Amagi got nerfed into oblivion. No normal player played the Amagi. They just didn't. They hated it. But really good players played the Amagi because it was very, very strong. And so what happened was you had an unusual disparage between the Amagi's numbers and, say, the Vanguard's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Vanguard was more popular. So more people playing, and the Iowa too. Like, that's why the Iowa took so long to even get any sort of nerf, even though everybody at the beginning of the game knew the Iowa was extremely strong. Like, period. Like, it's really, really strong. And still is to this day, even though it doesn't do as well as it used to. But anyway, so the Amagi was only being played by very good players, so it had higher average damage than an Iowa because the Iowa was getting played by potatoes and good players.
Right.
So meanwhile, you got good players putting up almost 300K games, and you have potatoes out there going broadside in front of 5 battleships and wondering why they're getting removed 30 seconds into the match.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, oh my God, this ship is terrible. And so
Yep.
it balances the spreadsheet for them, and that's why the Iowa took so long to take a nerf. And
Right.
that's why ships like the Amagi got nerfed and shouldn't have necessarily got nerfed.
Right.
So I don't see them nerfing it much, if any. Like, I don't. The Parseval is definitely the most broken. The Vesa and the Rhine. I haven't actually played the Rhine yet, so I'll save my judgment for that. But the Vesa, even at dropping maximum altitude AP bombs and hitting, like I'm still not getting that many citadels on battleships. Cruisers rip them apart. Battleships, if it's German, if it's French, I can generally, like, if it's the Dunkirk, I can generally citadel them. But for the most part, I don't think that the issue's too much with those. It's going to be definitely something torp related, if I had to guess, because the torps are stupid in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the German torpedoes that you're dropping, like, those things are strong. And
Strong.
the AP bombs on the Parseval need something. They just do. Because it citadels everything.
Everything.
Like, I can citadel everything with a Parseval.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
and
have
I'm
to
just
see.
a good CV player. Like, I'm not. I really ain't. But
I've been playing it a
putting
lot
up
because
averages of over 100K with the freaking Parseval. There needs to be something done.
oh yeah,
'Cause-
an average game in the Parcel for me 100, 120.
Yeah.
That's just average. It's rare that I do less than 100. But
and to put that into perspective, in the second best carrier, which is the Lexington, everybody knows, the second best carrier, my average damage per match is like 50K.
right.
And with the Parseval, I'm averaging 80 to 90K.
Yeah. So like
we're almost doubling my average by just using a different ship.
That's what something I said on day one when the Parcel came out. I was like, man, I have 125K. Like I'm not even doing that much, and I have 125K. I said, what a dramatic difference between the Parseval and the Lexington. To have 125K in the Lexington, you got to be working your ass off. You got to be trying to get permafires or permafloods. I mean, you just got to be really hitting it hard, trying to do a lot. I don't know if it's a combination of the torps with the AP Citadel bombs or what it is, but if it's just, we'll see. We will see in a month after everybody has the Parseval that wants the Parseval. We'll see what an average game's like. I know I've been on the receiving end of being focused by a Parseval player more than once, and I can tell you it's not fun because I've been done it in a kiting cruiser, I've done it in battleships, and both times it's like I've dodged the Parseval's torps and these guys are shooting at me. It's like, what do? Like, do you take the torps or do you take the shells? Or we'll see. We will see how that ends up working. So this might be a good time to go over to the audience.
Yep. do some Q&A.
Do some
Wonder what the
Q&A.
audience is gonna
So,
ask.
anybody out there in the audience, I know we got a lot of people tuned in. Any kind of question you want for either me or Spartan about just about anything, type it in, and I will just go through and we'll pick the best questions. So, start asking it away, boys. That in mind, I wonder if we're going to get Montana soon.
Oh, we're definitely getting Montana soon. It's in AI. And I like that there was like several people that already made videos on it. And they all say like something similar. I don't remember seeing this at any other point. Like the Yami, the Gross occur first, don't ring a bell. like this isn't the first time they've done this. They usually do this with like at least the battleships anyway. The DDs I don't think they did, but then again, we don't know. I don't play a lot of AI. But yeah, my comments section has been just lit up with Spartan, the Montana, Spartan. You gotta play AI. There's the Montana, Spartan. But we want your opinion on what the Montana. I was like, the Montana ain't even here yet. It's literally just an AI. Like I have no opinion. But yeah, so I got a video coming out on that today.
Okay, so here's one. What are you guys' thoughts on Kansas? I haven't played it, so I don't have any thoughts on it, but Spartan does, so what do you think, Spartan? What do you think about the
I
Kansas?
haven't played it either.
You haven't played Kansas?
No, the Kansas is the Tier 7 for the new American line. It doesn't come out until next month.
Okay.
So yeah, I have nothing to tell. And this is what I always try to tell people. Until I get my hands on it, I have no opinion. Because I can sit here and talk about stuff until I'm blue in the face, but like until I actually get to play it, I have no opinion. Like it could be amazing, it could be garbage. I have no idea. I'm a hands-on kind of dude.
King Swag says, why do you think the JB's OP? I can speak to this. Spartan can speak to this. It's not OP now. I mean, it still has a little French magic bullet stuff going on with it, but back in the day, you could take an Iowa bow tank and a JB bow tank, and if you didn't have good dispersion, that JB was going to end up winning. Like, he could just hit your superstructure for like 10k a pop, and there was nothing you could do about it. I mean, like any range, it didn't matter if it was 5 kilometers or 18 kilometers. He was going to hit you. Usually, it was harder than you were hitting him.
Yeah, and there's a couple things that make the Jean Bart more OP than other battleships. First of all, is its configuration. I mean, obviously, you got all of your firepower over the bow, which means you can, as long as you know what the heck you're doing, you're only going to be bow tanking whatever you're up against.
Right.
Okay? So you've got that going for you. On top of that, you've got French magic bullets, which literally arm on everything. It doesn't matter if it's an AA gun or if it's the side of a battleship. It will arm and go off. It has better chance of citadeling just about everything because you're not overpinning.
Right.
It has enough penetration to citadel pretty much everything. But also somehow it manages to hit your superstructure for 20k a pop.
Yep.
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous in that sense. The only balancing factor to the Jean Bart is the fact that it is so susceptible to HE. And this goes for all of the French battleships. French battleships are the weakest to HE, the weakest to HE, period.
And
so
on top of that,
now that we have so many HE spammers, Jean Barts don't stand a chance. But if you could use the terrain to get close, a Jean Bart's still very, very disgusting.
Yeah.
And I still personally use it. It was the first ship that I actually broke 200k in, by the way. So like that should tell you how broken it is.
And the other thing is now most battleship players understand to take out its guns. Where the Richelieu got a buff to its guns, the JB did not get a buff to its turret health, and it can be taken out if you kind of know where to aim. Still requires good dispersion.
Do the build now. They've got the build now where they can increase the turret HP. So
yeah, but it costs them range, I think. No, dispersion. It costs them dispersion. It's the first mod.
But that's the thing. But the other part of it is their armor. Their armor is stupid. It is actually stupid. It is an all or nothing armor scheme, much like the Iowas. But for whatever reason, it has one of the dumbest freaking, like, it ricochets everything at any, like, even at almost flat angles, it'll ricochet. And then, unless you finally figure out, which by the way I did, finally figure out where the damn citadel is located on that thing, just by trial and error, like, it basically had no citadel for the first year of its existence. Like, you could not citadel a Jean Bart for nothing.
Yeah.
But then finally, I figured out where the citadel, where I had to aim on the ship to try to hit the citadel, and I've been much more consistent. And Hive got to find that out personally, but I've been much more consistent at getting rid of Jean Barts. But they used to be able to go full broadside in front of you and not take much more than a few overpins. And it's just like, dude, any other battleship, you were removed for that.
Here's a good question: should Tier 6 cruisers get a heal to make them less squishy?
No.
No.
No. That's something that is definitely not needed. Tier 6 cruisers are already really, really strong for their tier. You don't need to make cruisers less squishy. Like, I don't understand why people are saying that cruisers need to be less squishy. Cruisers have the best of everything. Let's take a look at this. Most cruisers have torpedoes. Most cruisers have the highest DPM at their tier, which I think all cruisers actually, but most cruisers have high DPM, so they're some of the nastiest damage over time. They have stupid fire chance, with the exception of the British light cruisers, who can only shoot AP.
Right.
They have really, really good armor that can bow tank everything except for most battleships. They are very maneuverable, very agile. They have sonar, and some of them have radar to be able to locate and get rid of destroyers. The only counter to a cruiser is the player playing the cruiser. If you are bad in a cruiser, you die quickly. If you are at least adequate in a cruiser, you survive most of the match and can end up fighting pretty much anything.
I can speak to
So
that.
I don't
Helena,
think that they
ranked.
need more. What's that?
I can speak to that. Playing the Helena, playing the Dallas, all the way through ranked. We had a 93 win percentage. I was alive almost every game, even if I got focused. It's all about dodging, keeping them at range, knowing where to shoot.
Yeah, and if you're a good player, like if you're a great player, then being in a cruiser is just GG, like straight up. You can carry so many matches in cruisers.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that prolific fire spammers don't usually carry matches. I've seen so many people, especially against me in particular, I've seen so many people that are better than me in the game as HE spammers, putting up 200k damage and losing solely due to the fact that they cannot affect the match as much as they should be able to. So that's where I kind of draw the line as far as that goes, because you can survive a single fire spammer in any battleship. All you have to do is juggle your DCs well and juggle your heals. You'll be fine, especially with Will to Rebuild in the game. If you're near anybody, you can heal stupid amounts of damage back and be able to take it. The problem is that you know, cruiser players generally make one mistake and they pay for it. If you make a mistake in a cruiser, you should, like, by definition, be removed from the match.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up. It is the most high risk, high reward class in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. But that's where we need accurate battleships to counter. When they do make a mistake, we need to be able to punish and not hit the water around their ship. Here's a pretty good one. This is kind of a joke question from Hustle. Would you rather have 100 1-inch size duck flags all over people's ships, or one 100-inch duck flag on their ship?
Oh God. I'll take the 100 little duck flags on their ship, because at that point it'll just look blue.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. I want 100 of those flags. I'd actually run the duck flag.
I don't want a gigantic duck flag taking up my screen. Like, just, no.
Release the Quacken. Um, do you think we will get submarines any chance in the game? I fucking hope not.
I can almost guarantee at some point, but it's not anytime soon. I mean, even on
No.
PC, they're not fully implemented, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, and I hope it never happens. But
Right.
yeah. But I also said that, the carriers were they said initially when they came out with this game that they weren't going to bring carriers at all, and then they said, "Oh, it'll be, way down the line," and then within 2 years we've already got carriers. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured they would if that's what they did over on the other version on PC, so I figured they would at some point. Here's another good one. What line of ships would you like to see next, Spartan?
Uh, a line of ships?
Yeah. What line? What, say, tech tree line would you like to see next?
Hmm.
Got him
I
puzzled with that one.
honestly, yeah, you've got me. You've got me.
I would say Italian battleships.
Yeah, I was
Italians?
thinking Italian battleships, but at the same time, we don't have a good Italian commander. Like all we have is the tank build commander. So,
They
like,
could bring
I
one
just
in.
they're not going to.
They could.
But yeah, I'd say probably Italian battleships, but it's there are other things that I would like to see rather than a full line. I would like to see Ohio come in as a legendary, Des Moines. Um, I know those are both American, but I would
Hmm.
like to see those. I would also like to see things like SAP for the Italian cruisers to make them relevant, um, because that's like their strong suit, and they completely ignored that. They just like, nope, sorry. Like they didn't even want to give the Italian cruisers the rolling smoke. Like really?
Hmm. Do you
But
think an AA booster would help balance the game with CVs? To all ships have a AA booster?
I mean, if you're giving it to everybody and not a replacement for something, but considering they like to replace things and make it an option, so like you would have to give up your spotter plane for it or something
Right.
like that, I personally am not a fan of that. But yeah, if they're just going to give it to you, like on light cruisers especially and battleships, yeah, absolutely.
How do you think sector priority for AA, now that we have CVs, do you think that's something that we'll ever see in the game? Sector priority?
I don't think
Concentrating
so,
all
not
your
on
AA?
console.
Not on console?
I don't think so on console. Um, And it's just like it's the same for the secondaries on console. It's the way they've got them implemented. I actually prefer solely due to the fact that your secondaries will fire off both sides of the ships at one time rather than and your AA as well. If there's planes coming in from one side or the other, if you focus your AA one direction and those planes fly over you and go the other direction, now your AA is less effective. So personally, I don't know. I don't think that that's something that they are going to implement on console, and
Right.
I don't think it needs to be a thing.
Do you think this game is falling into the same trap as PC World of Warships? Do you think this game is going down the same path as the PC version?
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
simple answer. Yes, like I've already said this. I said this in the patch notes that I did for this carrier update. They've buffed the carrier so much so quickly that there's no way that they are not going to overbuff them. And then nerfing them, as we've already talked about earlier in the podcast,
Right.
nerfing ships is way harder than buffing ships.
Mhm.
So the fact that they keep buffing and keep buffing and keep buffing, I don't think is going to be good. There's not enough data yet to make informed decisions on what you should be, doing with them. So
Right.
personally, I don't agree with it, and I will always be vocal about that. Um,
Gotcha.
so.
Let's see, Spartan. How was the New Jersey? What ship is going to be next on your tour list?
New Jersey was fantastic. I was actually, of all of the things that I was like surprised about was the area that the New Jersey is in and the river between Philly and Camden. Like the area is absolutely gorgeous. When you're on board, you've got Philly in the background, you've got the bridge between Philly and Camden there. It is absolutely a beautiful area considering it's a city. Like it's ridiculous. A lot more people than I care to be around, I'll be real, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And as far as the second half of your question, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to be able to at any point go to another ship. I have no plans currently to visit another ship. I would like to see other ships, obviously, but it's just going to come down to A, money, and B, time. And if the opportunity comes up to be able to do something, I'll take it because I'm always looking for new content for the channel.
But what was the one? What's the ship down in like New Orleans area? Is there one down there? A museum somewhere down there in the Gulf? I'm pretty sure there is, because I'm pretty sure Dirty Mike just went down there to it.
You've got Battleship Alabama down in Alabama.
Oof. That would be a fun one to go to.
You've got North Carolina in North Carolina. Are you seeing a little like theme here?
Yes.
New Jersey and New Jersey.
And yeah. Iowa and San Francisco. Got it.
Yeah.
Can't believe they would just put that thing on
Iowa. It's kind of hard to put Wisconsin at Wisconsin.
Dude, just put it on a flatbed, dude. Just haul it up there. World's biggest flatbed. I had a question for me. If I ever got to go see one, what ship would I go to? I'd probably go see the Iowa. I mean, just because it's my most played ship in Legends, I would like to go see it. Of course, I'm gonna see it in my mind, wrapped in, stars and stripes like it is in the game. But I would personally probably like to go see that one. That or the Alabama down in the Gulf, which Spartan, if you go to that one, I'm going to that one. So we're going to link up and we're going to go to that one.
Yeah, that's a long ways for me to go all the way down there. It's
$250 airplane, I'll pick you up.
Hey, I don't know if I want to fly with you, to be honest.
You'd be on an airline.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way you're traveling for $250. It'd be a couple grand if I came and picked your ass up.
Me. I don't know. Two fat guys in one little plane never ends well. Those are the guys that end up on the news.
No. We'd be fine. We'd be fine. It'd be a lot of fun.
We end up on the news. Two local YouTubers were found dead today after their little tiny plane crashed. Turns out that you need more than 40 horsepower to carry 600 pounds of people.
Hey, man, if we ever went flying together, I'd let you fly.
You don't want me to fly.
It's a lot easier than you think. It's kind of just like point and shoot,
I fall in style. There's no flying. I've never flown in anything. Like, I straight up, like, the only thing I've ever been is off the ground with when I jump off of a cliff or something like that.
Then I'm 100% taking you in an airplane. 100%, and we're filming it.
I would probably scream like a little girl.
You would flip shit when we did like a stall or something. Heaven forbid we did a flat spin. Oh man, you'll never look at roller coasters the same. If we did one flat spin, you could ride a roller coaster and never smile. Will we ever get custom games or training rooms?
Yes, but no.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they are coming at some point, but no ETA, no idea when.
Right.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully, but honestly, I have no idea. Because technically, they're already in the game. Like, just like Armor Viewer. Armor Viewer has been in the game for a very, very long time, but they didn't give it to us until recently. Like, I don't know why they do things like this. Like, things that would help the game tremendously, they take their time on. They don't even, like, come on. And then they rush other things out. Like, that make no sense.
Definitely, that if they put that in a year or 2 years ago, like right when you downloaded it, the first thing you could do before you could even go through the menu and play any ship, went through some sort of a 10-minute training deal, where you shoot stationary ships and it's like, shoot here.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
tutorials don't work. That's the problem. Like tutorials straight up don't work.
it
They're
would have
expensive
gave
for a company to
people
develop, and they just don't work.
an idea. Like, if you sail like this, then the shell can penetrate you and you die
Yeah,
quickly, you know?
but peak. We're 2 years into the game,
I
and
know.
people at Tier 7 and Legendary still have not grasped the concept. So
I know.
a 10-minute training at the beginning is not going to help anybody.
When is
But
Spartan
they do
going
need
to...
training rooms. They need the ability for us to be able to go in and test like ricochet angles and stuff like that, because those of us who are actually interested in that sort of thing would get good use out of it.
Yeah. Looking for another question. Is Bismarck worth it now? I'm 82k global away. I might get it. It's not worth it, especially when you go up against a German CV. They can get citadeled so easy. Do Japanese destroyers' guns get better RNG? No, they just have good HE shells. Um, what would you two like to see done to destroyers, especially those that are broken? Would you rather detection increase or torp range decrease?
Detection.
So you'd rather see them farther away?
Yeah, 100%. Because that's the biggest issue currently. Like torp range, I don't have a problem with. If you're launching your torps from 70 kilometers, I don't care. Uh, it's the guys getting 4 kilometers from you and dropping their torps that I worry about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So detection.
Um, this is a pretty good question. If you could eliminate one ship from the game, what would it be?
Just completely remove a ship from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, carrier.
Carrier,
just
really?
just all carriers. Like I don't want carriers, but that's just me. I know you're saying one ship in particular, so in that sense, just German carriers, because I've gone up against the Shokaku and the Lexington multiple times, and while it is obnoxious when a Lexington hits you for 15K and sets 2 fires,
Mm-hmm.
uh, personally, I would prefer that over the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
But
Um, I would have to say, probably Shima. I personally have a bigger problem with a Shima in the game than I do carriers. Just because 340,000 fucking potential every minute and 30 seconds. Like what?
but the way I look at it is yes, that's a thing. But most people who play the Shima have no idea what they're doing. They're launching at or like max range, so there's plenty of room to only take a single torpedo, which is still 20,000 damage. But like the Shima actually has to put itself somewhat into harm's range. They have to get within radar range to be able to launch their torps effectively. They have to close a lot closer than that to guarantee a sink, even though because their torpedoes spread out quite a bit at any sort of range. So I personally don't have as big of an issue going against Shimas, but the carriers like they don't even have to get themselves put in any sort of harm's way. They're
Right.
always the last person alive on the team.
Mm-hmm.
They can a good carrier player can carry a match, especially with the
Right.
German.
Yeah.
Like the Parsifal is insane. Um, so personally, I think the carrier's probably the one for me.
Faz has got a good question. Faz has been a mod in my chat for a long time. You can probably guess what country he lives in from this question, but Spartan, would you like to go to any other countries to see remaining warships left from World War II, like British Belfast or Russian Aurora?
Uh, I mean, here's the thing about going outside the U.S. You need a passport for that. And while there are places that I would like to visit, I've never really wanted to visit any other ships anywhere else because honestly, we've got more and better museum ships here in the U.S. Um, so like there are places that I would like to visit. Like I would love to visit Ireland sometime, just because, my family at some point came through Ireland. Greece, obviously, because I have an unnatural like affiliation. Like I love Greece,
Sparta.
and Japan. Japan is one of those places. More specifically, Tokyo. I would love to visit at some point.
Well, you better get used to long rides on airplanes. If
What,
you're
you don't
going
think I could?
there.
You don't think I could ride a ship? Huh.
I mean, I guess you could. You're gonna have to have a lot of videos saved up, ready to queue for your 2 weeks trip time there and 2 weeks back, or however long it takes, a month. I can't be quick. That's like a 10 or 12 hour plane flight, I think. Um, okay, my controller didn't die. Here's a good one, pilot guy. Are there plans to have player stats ranking systems available in the game for us to see?
I don't think there are plans to make it in a game. What usually happens with World of, like, or at least what happened with World of Tanks is one person or multiple people, they request the API from Wargaming, and they set up their own system for monitoring stats and rankings and whatnot. So it's completely independent. So I don't see it being a thing in the game, but I do see somebody in the near future doing something with that personally.
Gotcha. Here's a really good one. This is from Bowling Survivor. Um, which legendary ship would you guys like to see in the game? Like, so I'll let you answer that first.
Ohio or Des Moines. Those are the two that I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah. I was gonna say Des Moines. I think Des Moines could have a huge impact in Legendary. Because we're gonna have Wooster, but Wooster's gonna be able to get touched really
Super,
aggressively.
super bolty, baby.
Yeah, Des Moines is a super balti, and I think that would be amazing for to have in Legendary tier. Um, here's another good one. Do you ever think we will see UK carriers with the implementation of German CVs?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll come.
yeah. It's kind of what I thought too. Who knows when, you know, but I'm sure we'll get them. Tweedle says, "How was the Philly cheesesteak on your trip?"
Interesting. All right,
It
so it's not a lot
interesting.
different. It's not a lot different from a Philly that you would have anywhere else. But there is something to be said for a Philly steak, first of all, made with like chopped ribeye. Like the steak is actually ribeye, which is fantastic. And then using the cheapest cheese known to man, Cheese Whiz, as the cheese. And then they add a little bit of flavor. Like we had the green onions that like the green
Mm-hmm.
peppers and not green onions, green peppers and onions. Uh,
Right.
but they also the place that I had put on these sweet peppers, which had a little bit of heat and a little bit of sweet, and oh my God, that made
Yeah.
the sandwich
Mm-hmm.
just straight up.
Yeah, those are amazing sandwiches. And you add those peppers, like I've had those before, and they're incredible. Just incredible. I've never been to Philly, but I've had Philly cheesesteaks multiple places throughout the US, and they all do make them a little differently, but I can only imagine Philly has to have, the best.
It was really good. I will say this: I had to wait in line a long time to get that. Not gonna
That's
lie.
usually a pretty good indication.
Yeah, I asked people, I was like, hey, is there anywhere that you would like to see me get a Philly from? And all the locals said the same thing as far as avoid Pat's and whatever the other one is, Geno's. Like, those are the popular ones that are all over the TVs and whatnot, and everybody usually, tourists go there, right? Because that's the famous ones. But if you want a real Philly, you have to go to a mom and pop shop or somewhere, out of the way. And so I asked around, and people started recommending Sonny's, and Sonny's was pretty good. It was really good. I just had to wait a long time to get to it.
So anybody have any more questions? Type them in the chat. Questions for me, questions for Spartan. Here's one.
And it
from...
doesn't even have to be just Legends either. You if you
yeah,
guys
anything.
got a question
you can ask
like
about his dog.
anything outside of Legends, just hit us. Like I'm ready to answer questions. I ain't scared.
You can make sure his second toe is the longest toe on his foot. No, it's my pinky toe. You can ask anything you want. Here's a question from somebody. We were talking earlier about the CVs, right? And the German CV, if he wants somebody, he goes and gets somebody. And I picked up a viewer from Portugal. I was literally playing by myself just a few nights ago, possibly even over the weekend. I'm sure he'll type it in chat. But he was a Shima on the other team. And I was like, I'm going to go get that Shima. And so that's all I did, basically for 10 minutes, was try to kill him. And I chased him around the map. Like, I made sure he could not launch torps on anybody. And he's been a loyal viewer ever since. But he had a comment here. What do you think about arena mode?
I honestly haven't even played this season of Arena, so I have nothing.
We're going to play
I
it
liked
today.
the first season of Arena, but I haven't actually played this one.
We're going to play this one. I'll find us a third, and we're going to play it. Because it's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was regretting. I was not looking forward to it, and I've actually been having quite a bit of fun. Even though it's tier 4, but it's the triple cruiser thing, dude. Triple Emil. It's pick up a couple heals, dude, and it's a lot of fun. I had a 34 Citadel game. A lot of fun. Do you ever think we'll get Montana in World of Warships? Yes. Yes, we will. Who knows when?
It's here.
Yeah, I mean, it's in
literally
AI.
already in the game.
When will you be able to drive it? That's a totally different question. But Montana's in the game. When did they tell you made CC? 4:13 this morning. I know that because I woke up at 4:10, and I was like rubbing my eyes, and my phone goes ding. I was like, sweet. Somebody asked how old I am. I turned 28 last Saturday. When Spartan was out there shooting a 5-inch shell off of New Jersey, I was turning 28. So, how old are you, Spartan?
I am 34, and in September I'll be 35.
So, yeah, so Spartan's an old man, but I'm 28. I'm not very far behind him. Somebody asked what made me get into YouTube. We covered why you got into YouTube. I got into it for the memes, man. I was recording dev strikes, and one day I went and looked, and I had like 50 recorded clips of me dev striking people and doing, fun stuff. Torp beats or whatever. And so if you go to my channel and you look at the meme videos, you can look up meme video number 1, and that's literally why I started the channel. That's all I was going to do. And then I started streaming. And then I've stopped making meme videos because I like streaming more. So, why don't they give us tier 7 ranked?
Mostly because of participation. Not everybody has tier 7s, and they like to try to include as many people into ranked for some reason as possible. So hopefully we'll get a tier 7 ranked season in the near future. I also personally would like to see a 1v1 ranked season. That would be a lot of fun. Where battleships fight battleships, cruisers fight cruisers, destroyers fight destroyers, and so on. Carriers can fight carriers. But I want to see a 1v1 ranked season at some point. I don't care what the tier is. I think that would be fun.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I agree completely. Do you think the Austin will be a legendary or a tier 7?
Isn't it a tier 10?
I have no idea what tier it is.
I think I think the Austin is a tier 10 on PC, so it would be a legendary here.
Gotcha. What do you think would make ranked more competitive? For me, it'd be skill-based matchmaking, but the problem with that is you get people like me that are over 65%. I think Spartan was like 62 or something last season of ranked, and to match up people in the 60s and over 65, the amount of time you're going to have to sit in queue to get that many people to play, I mean, that would, I don't think they're ever going to do it, because I think you have so many people that are below 60, or like we saw last season, this was their first time playing ranked. They didn't even have a patch, which that's something they did different, was now we could actually see at the end of the game what these people's win rates are. And I think for that reason, I don't think there's a big enough base of people that are in the higher percentages. So yeah, I don't think we're ever going to have skill-based matchmaking. It's just a different game mode if you look at it that way, just like arena. And that's all it is. Let's see. What do you think of Fat Guys Gaming and music video and song? I have not seen it yet, Toledo.
I love Mike.
I love Mike too.
Like, dude is hilarious.
Yeah.
Whether you're playing or like playing with him in a division or whatever, like dude is funny as hell. His music is hilarious, but at the same time, like I get it. I get it. As somebody who literally jumps into a frozen lake for views, jumps it like eats hot peppers and stuff, like I get it. Like I totally get the grind. But yeah, I love Mike, man. There's nothing wrong with that man. Well, there's something wrong with him, but but yeah, I love Mike.
The one thing about Mike is no matter what he's doing, he's always having a good time. Like
exactly.
He could be having the best game of his life, or he could be sailing broadside and getting shit on by 9 people. He's loving every second of it. Like I've never, ever heard anything below like a 8 out of 10 on the happiness scale out of Mike. Like ever. What's the best game you've ever played? What's the highest game? I guess so, like DPM, or not DPM, but damage record. Like what's your best game you've ever had, Spartan?
The best game I've ever had was actually recently in the Shima, 279,000 damage, something like that.
Yeah, I was there for that one, wasn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my damage record currently.
Yeah.
Also, there's a heck of a storm going on outside right now.
Well, I hope you don't get disconnected.
My power might go out.
Well, if we lose Spartan, we know what happened to him. Question to Spartan. Question to Spartan. Is Portugal a Spanish province?
Oh, God. Americans and geography, not our strong suit. I'm just saying. But
No.
I'm going to say no, because Spain and Portugal have a really nasty history together, if I remember correctly. So, final answer, no.
I think you got it right.
Woohoo! I don't get to. I should be an Olympian now. I can officially represent Americans on trivia shows.
Do you think cross-play divisions will make it into the game?
Yes, and hopefully sooner rather than later, because I want a chance to get into divisions with all the PS guys.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be great.
Me too. I've been trying to play with Meta Jerk for the better part of a month and a half. The dude lives in my live streams, keeps the chat active and talking. They can be talking about anything, and I can't play with the guy. You know, kind of unfortunate, but it would be a lot of fun if we could.
Yeah, it really would.
Question from Zach. He says, Are your weekly salt ration streams coming back?
If I can ever get my internet, like I have already paid my deposit for Starlink. Starlink is supposed to be coming by the end of this year to my area. So I will be one of the first people to get Starlink in Ohio once it's available, at least this far south in Ohio. So as soon as it becomes a thing, I will be getting it, and hopefully that will solve my ability to stream, but only time will tell. Um, but until that happens, I have no way to do it. The low latency connection I use for gaming doesn't have the upload to be able to do it, and the high latency with faster or more upload throughput sucks. Like HughesNet sucks. So
Gotcha. Do you think they're going to put the Enterprise into the game?
probably.
Yeah.
It'll be a legendary though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think we're going to see a legendary. What are those things? Aircraft carriers. Jesus Christ. I think we're going to see that sooner than later. If you're asking me. Because that's the one thing they don't have in Legendary is an aircraft carrier. And I can only imagine how fucking OP that's going to be. Like, holy shit. That going up against tier 7s? I don't know how many. Let's say it drops 5 torps, you know? 5, 6, 7,000 a torp. Oh, that's going to be cancer. Do you think the Georgia is squishier than the Iowa? Pardon?
Hello?
You there? Controller
I'm here.
died, huh?
I'm here. Yeah, my controller, dummy.
I know, I'm reaching
completely
over.
forgot
I'm
about
touching mine about every 5 minutes.
So how much did you get?
None. Nothing. You heard my question,
Nothing? Yeah, I heard your question. For me, I think yes, they will bring most of the legendaries in at some point. Enterprise will likely be a legendary. I'm sure they'll bring Graf Zeppelin in and probably Kaga as well. So I think most of the legendaries are going to show up at some point, and because Wargame makes too much money off the legendaries to not do it, so they're going to do it. There's money, they'll do it.
Do you feel like the Georgia is squishier than the Iowa?
No, not squishier. Pretty much the same. So, Iowa's got, or Georgia has a little bit better belt. But I don't feel like it's any squishier than the Iowa. I think it's actually slightly less squishy than the Iowa. But I will say this, those 18-inch guns are fantastic.
Here's a good question. And this is off topic from Legends, which is totally fine. Ask Spartan whatever you want. What is your absolute favorite thing to do when you have free time?
My favorite thing to do is probably watch YouTube. I love watching YouTube. YouTube's my jam. But I also go on walks and stuff and have a good time doing that because it's nice to just not worry about crap. And while you're walking, you're just walking. You got a lot of time to think. You got a lot of time to just sit there and just take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else matters when when you're out walking. So
Toledo's got a good question for you. And this is about YouTube and your job. How was it financially to make the switch from a full-time job to full-time YouTube?
all right, so I had been making pretty decent money for a while, and so I had an idea of how much I needed to survive off of. And last year in April, we had this thing come up. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called COVID. And I made the decision in April to take the month off to let this whole COVID thing blow over. That worked out real well, didn't it? And
Yeah.
I thought that I could help protect my dad because my dad his immune system's compromised because of his liver problems that he has. It runs in the family. It's not from drinking or anything like that, but he does have cirrhosis of the liver, which compromises your immune system. So because me and my dad live together, I have tried to keep myself distance from people to try to avoid being the person that brings it home to dad. And so I decided in April that I was going to take the month off and try to let this whole thing blow over. I thought it would be over quickly. And then, you know, I found out really early on that I didn't need as much money as I thought I needed to survive off of. And that was the beginning of the end of me working full time where I did. Um, I went back to work and I just wasn't I just was not having it. I was like, dude, I wanted to make it to the end of last year because of financially it would have been smarter for me to get all of my bills paid off before then. But I was trying to pay off my bills and stuff to the point where I only had certain things that I had to worry about each month. The biggest shock for me was health insurance. Okay, I live in the U.S. The U.S. has the most expensive healthcare in the world, like period. And so for me, the biggest shock was how much I have to pay just for myself because I don't have kids or anything like that. I stay single for that reason. Like I enjoy spending my money and doing things that I want to do rather than having to worry about planning other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that was the biggest shock. I'm paying $360 a month for insurance. So, but other than that, like honestly, it hasn't been that bad. I've been able to budget my money pretty well, knowing that I only get paid once a month. Uh, the main thing for me is maintaining my motivation because as somebody who's naturally lazy, it's very easy to get yourself sucked into, I don't want to do anything today. But then you
I don't
just got to
want to post
remind
a
yourself,
video
if you don't
today.
do anything,
Yeah,
you don't get money.
right. Absolutely. Somebody had a question for me. Am I still flying every day? Not currently, but that's why I'm able to spend all this time and stream and get this channel off the ground. But I will be going back to it. Probably this fall or early winter, something like that. And I plan on actually going to the airlines. Unless something better comes up and I can go back to the private sector. So we will see, we will see. Patrick Bowles says, are you going to be releasing more car mechanic simulator videos?
Yeah, I probably. I haven't done it for a little bit, but I plan on it. Um, the thing with all of my extra videos is, and that goes for everything, War on the Sea, Ultimate Admiral, um, the Pokemon that I was doing, the car mechanic simulator, stuff like that. Those are all extra. So for me, World of Warships Legends comes first, and I've been trying to get in shape. So I've been trying to take better care of myself, and that has left me less time for recording everything. So that's one of the things that's kind of slowed down the other recordings, is just me trying to get in shape, eat better, work out now, do my walks. I mean, my walks usually take about an hour and a half, sometimes less if I push myself. So that's one of the things that has slowed it down. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get back out there and do another video in car mechanic because they're actually pretty well received. Like people seem to enjoy them.
Okay. Any other questions for Spartan, guys? Put them in the chat. I've got a few here for me. What planes have you flown, Peak? I've flown a lot of single engine and a handful of multi-engine, mostly prop. I've only flown one jet. That was a Citation 5. But if I was to go back into it, I'm going to probably either go to a jet charter company or go to the airlines, one or the other. What is it like to work full-time on YouTube? And that's for you.
Full time on YouTube. Again, like I said, it's not that much difference from a regular job, with the exception of the pressure is all on you. Um, like when you go to work every day, you have people there that push you to do your job, right? Whether it's a manager, whether it's management up top coming down on you saying, "Hey, you're not meeting your expectations. We need you to work harder, or we need you to pull more hours." When you're working YouTube, it's all on you. You are only going to get paid what you put in. So like
Mm-hmm.
you have to maintain uh, content. And for me, I'm always trying to outdo myself. I'm always trying to get better numbers and push myself. Like this month in particular, I should, if all goes well for today, I should for the first time ever break $3,000 in a month.
Wow.
Which is my most ever. And the last 4 months, I have averaged 2,600. I've gotten 2,700 twice. I've got 2,600, and this month, if I do well, I should have $3,000 this month.
Heck yeah.
So
that's awesome.
It's a great thing for me personally because it has allowed me the freedom to do so much more, like go on these trips to see the ships, to make videos that I wouldn't normally be able to make, for me to lose weight, because, you know, when I'm working all the time, I'm working and still doing YouTube. So, like, for me, just having the free time to do other things other than work is kind of nice. So that's been a big thing for me personally. It's just the free time that comes with it.
American Made says, Peak, did you own a plane? I did own one. Had one for just about 3 years. And had a cylinder go out. Went down on Whiteman Air Force Base. I got handcuffed, interrogated. The insurance company dragged their feet. They broke their contract. We threatened to sue them because they broke our contract. They totaled the airplane. They gave me a big fat check for it. So that answers your question. Ender says, Peak, are we going to see you do ship review vids and maybe some guides for beginners to journeyman now? As far as guides go, maybe. Because there's already so many other people that do that kind of content. The ship review stuff, definitely, now that I'm a CC, you know, I'll have access to the new ships. And I'll definitely do those. I'm not sure about the guides. Maybe when I get a new PC and I can actually edit. I mean, my PC's so slow now that if I'm doing anything, it's tremendously bad. I mean, just trying to put together a video with 2 or 3 perspectives like I've done in the past, it's so difficult to edit because I can't even watch it as I'm editing it. Like, I have to watch it in frames. And so that's a big pain in the butt. Spartan, what is your all-time favorite video game? Can only pick one. The best one you've ever played. Borderlands, that's a fantastic fucking answer.
I love Borderlands 2, man. I have put more hours in Borderlands 2 than any other game that I've ever played. The second best to that was probably going to be Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I
Oblivion.
put so many hours in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, is ridiculous. There was only one achievement that I did not get for that game. This is the only game that I've ever tried to get all of the achievements on. And that was because I didn't save before the choice. And if you made a specific choice, you got one achievement. If you chose the other way, you got the other achievement. That is the only achievement that I didn't get. And that was during the Shivering Isles. But yeah, my all-time favorite game is Borderlands 2. I love that game. I still, to this day, go back and play it. Usually I'll splurge and do it like for an entire weekend. Like, I enjoy the crap out of it.
We should play Borderlands 2 and beat it.
We should.
Co-op.
If you play that game, me and you need to do this. We will do an entire series on Borderlands. I'm not joking. I will do this.
I will too, dude. I've great memories with that fucking game. I have fantastic memories with that game.
You heard it here first, folks. Spartan and Peak co-op. We are doing Borderlands 2 as a series in the
Hell yes. Oh man, that's gonna. I haven't played that game in
How's
probably.
that for a hot take? This is how things work on YouTube, folks. This is how it happens. Oh my God, I just almost removed the Worcester. Oh, by the way, I'm actually multitasking right now. So
you're playing?
No, I'm not playing. I'm actually watching my premiere of my Montana Has Arrived.
Oh.
And I'm also talking to you guys, and I am doing all the things.
Very nice.
And just to flex on you, I've got 267 people watching mine.
Yeah. We don't have that many, but we crested over 100.
It's all good though. We love everybody.
Yeah.
We love everybody.
What vehicle do you drive?
Currently, my vehicle is a 2011 Subaru Impreza hatchback. It is just the naturally aspirated automatic. I bought it for $500, and I have driven it ever since. Um, in the past, the last, I still own the car. I just don't get to drive it because it's broke down at the moment. But my favorite car that I've ever owned is a 2008 Subaru Impreza WRX wagon. Uh, I love that car, man. I need to get that car back on the road because I miss it so much. The sound of that car, the turbo, all the things. I gotta get it.
Daniel, I drive a 2014 GMC Denali 1500. I fucking love my car. Oh my god.
Noise.
Um,
I've never actually owned a GMC. I've owned a Chevy
fucking
once.
nice. They are so nice. Oh, at least I've had two GMCs. One was older. It was still the Denali, and it was like the Suburban Denali, had like the air ride system and like the Bose sound system, and I fucking loved that car. And then the one I have now, you know, I fucking love it to death. Absolutely love it.
What's your favorite truck or car of all time? Like, what is your dream? Changing it up, I'm asking you the question now.
Citation ISP. It'd be an airplane. That would be my favorite. I'm not really a huge car guy. I'd rather have a fucking airplane. I'd rather
Fair
drive a
enough. What's your
shitty car and
favorite
have an airplane.
airplane of all time? Like, it could be anything.
Ooh, dude, that's a good one. You know, to this day, I think the P-38 Lightning is a disgusting bitch, man.
Oh.
Thin, sleek, fast as fuck.
Only reason I know that is from War Thunder, and I do dig it. I do dig it.
The P-38, dude. That's what they used to shoot down Yamamoto. They strapped them up with long-range tanks, and they sent those fuckers at high altitude all the way over. 2 engines, so you can get up there at high altitude and go fast as shit. And oh my god, those P-38s are nasty, dude. Because there's like nothing to them. They're like all engine. If you ever seen one, they're fucking engine. Yeah. Like they go fast.
My favorite plane of all time is the F-117 Nighthawk.
Oh. Yeah.
That thing it was always a thing. Like as soon as I saw that thing, it was amazing. I was just like, this thing is amazing.
Funky, weird shaped, badass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Looks like a flying Batmobile.
Literally, yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the guy on YouTube that it's called the Operations Room, but highly recommend you guys look up the Operations Room. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. Spartan, if you ever look it up, you'll have a fucking cream in your pants. Incredible fucking guy does that channel. He's blown up on YouTube. He did Desert Storm from the ground and from the air. I had no idea how big Desert Storm was. Just all the components of Desert Storm. Like,
oh yeah.
They sent the F-117 across the border to circle Baghdad for like 30 minutes. They had 24 hours previous. They had dudes out of Missouri or wherever take off and have 13 mid-air refuels to get there to launch Tomahawks. They launched Tomahawks off the battleships and the cruisers in the Gulf. Everything. They sent Apaches to the border. And
you know what else was there?
What?
Wisconsin.
Yep.
And not New Jersey, the other one. Missouri. Missouri and Wisconsin were both there. New Jersey was slated to come in and replace them, but by the time that New Jersey was slated to come in, they didn't need it.
I remember seeing that in your video. Yeah, I didn't know that until I watched your video with Ryan. So, but it was amazing to me how many different components they had strike at exactly the same minute. Like within seconds of each other. Missiles flying for 20 minutes.
The most
What?
impressive part is it was so many different countries.
Oh,
It wasn't just the
I
U.S.
know.
going in and
Yeah.
having all this stuff coordinated. It was so many countries all coordinating to do this. That is the most impressive part.
And
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 think,
and they had all these different fighter groups staged outside of their radar range, their radar scope. They had so many fighter groups that they were all assigned an AWACS, and that AWACS was with that group constantly. And the AWACSs talked to each other, and the AWACS took care of everyone in their group, and the AWACS gave the kill orders to fire on bogeys to make sure they weren't friendlies. Like,
yeah, and they also caused our guys to get into trouble too, because we ended up there was multiple friendly fire incidents
there
during
were.
the war or during it. But we also had an incident where we ended up losing a plane. The pilot survived, but we lose a plane solely due to the fact that they were waiting for permission to open fire
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't given.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the downsides too.
Telling you, watch
Yeah,
the
that whole
operations room,
thing
dude.
was ridiculous.
Every single thing like that is described. It's all animated. It's so fucking fire, dude. It's so good. Here's a question: you guys have a girlfriend, wife, sons, etc.?
You want to go first?
Hell no is the answer. Nope.
Then that doubles. See, like that's just straight up. I'll be honest. Like I avoid it. Like people bring drama. I'm not a fan of drama. I prefer to spend my money and time the way I want to. So like I stay single. I've had
Yep.
girlfriends in the past. I've done all the things. Like I said, personally I prefer to stay single.
Um, Worship says, "What are your real names?" My name's Wilson, and he's David.
Wilson!
David.
Hey, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. I get the one from
Pull out
Castaway
Dennis,
more than any
Dennis
of
the
them.
Menace. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a little
Or what
Castaway
is
action.
it? Tool Time? Is that another one? The guy on the other side of the fence?
Probably.
And he would
I
just
didn't
he
watch
would
a
just
whole lot
stick
of Tool
his
Time.
he'd stick his head over the fence just to his nose. He'd talk to his neighbor. I think it is. Um Roller almost died on me.
Speaking of which,
Yep.
better hit the stick.
I'm not seeing any more questions. Well, here's one. Spartan and Peak, what is your favorite war movie? So, okay, you go first. Tell
Ooh.
us your favorite war movie, and then tell us your favorite movie.
Ooh. Okay. So, favorite war movie is probably a toss-up. Um, and it's a three-way tie. I can't choose a favorite because I like all of them.
Okay.
Forrest Gump. I know it doesn't really count, but it does.
It's a
Uh,
kind of a war. It's got Vietnam.
Saving Private Ryan, and then the third one is Heartbreak Ridge.
Hmm.
Or Hacksaw Ridge. Sorry, not Heartbreak Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay.
That story, that'll bring tears to your eyes, dude.
Now,
Seriously.
what about overall favorite movie?
My overall favorite movie is probably just going to be this is most likely going to get me into trouble. Um, it's honestly it's probably going to be Iron Man.
That's a fantastic fucking movie. And when that first came out, too, before any of
Like
the Marvel stuff.
it started everything. And you look at how far they've managed to take the MCU after that, like
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man just by far. And Jeff Bridges, oh my God. Give me more Jeff Bridges.
Iron Man was a fantastic movie, but it's not mine. It's not my favorite. I can tell you my two favorite movies. I knew it the second I read the question. Favorite war movie? Greyhound. No question. Tom Hanks, number one, is one of the best actors that's ever lived. He's up there in the bracket of the best actors that's ever lived. The guy can play any role from Saving Private Ryan, Greyhound, Castaway, Sully, fucking amazing actor. It just seems like an overall really humble guy. If you've ever seen any videos of him outside of the set, just seems like a normal dude, you know? Love that guy. So Greyhound, #1, favorite war movie of all time. Filmed on the USS Kidd. Fantastic fucking movie. Favorite movie? Interstellar.
So,
Interstellar.
fun fact, I have never watched either of the movies you just mentioned.
Our friendship hangs in the balance. If you don't watch Greyhound, like, you have to watch Greyhound. It's, seriously, it's so good. Like, I watched it once and instantly turned around and watched it again. That's how good it was.
Nice.
Like, to me, it blew Saving Private Ryan out of the water. Like, weren't even on the same scale. But then again, you know, just like World of Warships, I love, you know, World of Warships, so it's basically the game 2 years from now. Fishing or hunting? You do either of them?
Technically, I do fish occasionally. I'm not a big fisher. The hunting side of things, I am like the worst hunter ever. I get too comfortable. I was raised in the middle of the woods and in the forest. You guys know this if you've watched my videos and my walks. Like, I literally live in the middle of the forest in the swamp. So, like, I'm super comfortable in nature. I'll go out there with my gun, walk out there, find me a good place, sit down, relax, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up 4 hours later and headed back to the house. Like, I'm the worst hunter on the planet because I just fall asleep.
Well, I'm the opposite. I am fucking lethal, son. I am lethal when it comes to hunting. I mean, I practice long range precision shooting. I reload my own shit. I've got custom snipers, bolt actions.
Custom snipers. I'm over here rocking. I'm so lethal as a hunter, guys. I'm out here rocking my custom sniper.
Dude,
like, I got my
I'm fucking
over
lethal, dude.
Got my 50 cal Barrett in the back. Don't you mess with me. I'll hit you from 1.5 miles.
I mean, I don't know about a mile, but I mean, I can shoot over 1,000 yards. So, and I can actually hit what I shoot at. I practice that stuff fairly religiously, and I have for several years. And I've been hunting since I was 11 years old with a BB gun, maybe even 10 with a BB gun. So, fishing. Everyone from my channel knows I love to fish. I go fish just about every weekend. I'm gonna go fish Friday morning. Saturday morning I might be hungover. Who knows? We'll see. But I love to fish and hunt. So no question there. Favorite music? I feel like I can almost answer that one for Spartan. Because that fucking guy sings constantly. I think you like just about everything, don't you?
Yeah, literally everything.
Everything.
Every genre, everything from the 40s all the way up to modern stuff. I can find stuff that I like. Music is my shit, man. I love it. Music literally saved my life. Music and gaming saved my life. So like that's my jam. So you'll hear me. It depends. It could be anything. Literally anything can trigger it. And I can come up with a song 1 minute, it's something from the 40s, the next minute it's something from 2 weeks ago or something. Like, you don't know what I'm going to come up with. So yeah, I listen to everything. I prefer classic rock, though, if I had to choose.
Yeah, I mean, we can be fighting for our fucking lives on Legends, and we'll have the word sweet in a sentence. Like, sweet mother of God, give me good dispersion, and this motherfucker will go, sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. It's like,
and then everybody's day immediately gets better.
Like,
that's
really?
what music does for you. Like, everybody's day immediately gets better. You guys will start jumping in on the songs, like, and then 5 minutes later, I'm just normal, and then you guys are sitting there going, damn it, Spartan. It's like, it's great. You cannot help it. It's music literally puts a smile on everybody's face.
Do you play any musical instruments to both of you?
I'm interested in hearing this from Peak. I'm gonna say no from
Oh,
Peak.
I mean, you're gonna have to see it on stream. I do play one instrument really well, really
The
really
flute.
well. Uh, it's yeah, it's called the fuck you flute, like that. You didn't see it on stream, so you didn't get it. But do
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
play
say
any
you're going with
instruments?
the old. Yeah, I'm guessing you were going for the the freaking Bruce Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
For
Exactly.
me, yeah, I actually do play a couple instruments. Mainly because I was in the band growing up. But I played the trombone. I played the sousaphone. I do okay on drums, even though I am not a drummer by any stretch. Uh, but yeah, I got a little bit. I have been known to tickle the ivory a little bit, but I am not really a very good pianist or keyboardist or anything like that.
You
But
tickle
I
the
can play a
ivory,
little
huh?
bit here and there. Yeah, that's what they call it when you play the piano, to tickle the ivory, because the keys used to be made out of ivory.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like I said, music's my shit. I love music.
Have either of you been sport clay shooting, not just trap or skeet? Have you?
Me, no.
Me,
No, the only
yes.
shooting I've ever done has been either at a range in high school or at my house. I just
Yeah, I have. I go. We've got a at the range we're at. It's just like a ranch. It's got a whole bunch of different. There's different types of things. We can either go shoot the wobble trap, or we can go do the sporting clays. Which is, if you guys don't know what sporting clays are, it's a miniature golf course for shotguns. It's mini golf with shotguns. It's amazing. Like you go, there's like 9 or 12 stations, and at each one it's got like 2 or 3 different traps that throw them in different directions in like levels of 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the hardest, and they're totally random. You don't know where they come out at, and they just you just pull and they fly right by you in some weird way, and you got to be able to nail them. And I actually keep track of every shot too, and my hit accuracy last time I went, I want to say, was like 87% between shots fired and targets hit. So I'm a sweat when it comes to guns, guys. That's lethal, chat. Lethal. Um Spartan, have you seen Midway 2019?
nope. Can't help it.
How?
I don't watch a lot of movies. Like I straight up don't watch movies very often. Most of the movies I watch are like older movies, with the exception of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was only until the Avengers: Infinity War 2 like finished. Like that was it. Like I haven't watched a Marvel movie since, and I haven't watched anything other than that really. I just I prefer to watch like YouTube and older stuff.
Well, Spartan, this has been a little over 2 hours. We set up to do like a 30-45 minute podcast, and we've been on here and rambling for the better part of 2 hours. Just a little over, I think. And I kind of thought that might happen, especially since we're doing a Q&A from chat. But
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Like the two of us together, it's a wrap.
yeah,
Like me and you can have a lot of fun. I honestly don't mind at all. It's been fun.
it has been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I think we'll do. There's one more question in here that I want to ask. It's a pretty good one. In a 1v1, pick your ship and map. Which one of you would win?
Ooh. 1v1, I'm gonna be let's just say we'll be in battleships. Um if we're 1v1 in each other in battleships, I think I've got a pretty good chance. Um because I actually am fairly good at 1v1s in battleships. Um but overall, I think we all know that Peak is the better player. In a destroyer, it's no contest, it's me. Um
Yeah.
Cruiser, he's definitely got me beat there. Battleships, it would be a good fight, and destroyer, it's me. So it just comes down to situation.
Mm-hmm. It
Maps
does.
don't really matter in a 1v1 because you're
Yeah.
going to go right at each other. So it's just going to come down to positioning and who knows the ships better. And I actually am very, very good at knowing where I need to shoot and what I can get away with. So like I think it would be a good fight in a battleship.
It would be.
Cruiser, I think he'd win. If I'm in a Balti, cruiser versus cruiser, like I feel like I have a chance because the Balti, I love it. But every other cruiser, I think he's got me beat. And then in a destroyer, it's me.
Yeah, there's no contest on the DD thing. If it was battleship on battleship, I'll be real honest. I think it's going to come down to who has better dispersion.
Could be.
Because if one guy lands 2 shells and I've got the accurate Iowa and I'm landing 9 shells, you know, because I don't play mine just sitting parked like a John Bart. Like I play mine in motion.
Well, that's the thing. We're going to be charging right at each other most likely. So
Right.
it's going to come into a strategy game. Like who's going to go for the hit towards the guns to knock out the guns temporarily to give you the edge in the reloading. Who's going to be able to know what angle they can fire at and still get penetrations and all of that. So like honestly, I feel like I have the advantage in that just due to the fact that I do that quite a bit when it comes down to getting into fights because I am the most aggressive battleship captain on the planet. There's no competition. Like I am the most aggressive.
Yeah, sometimes you forget you can slow down.
Yeah, it's just that like I put myself into positions that are terrible a lot just solely based on trying to make entertaining videos for people to watch, and I don't find sitting at 20 kilometers that entertaining. So like I am the most aggressive person on the planet for better or for worse. And so I've put myself in positions a lot to where I have to learn what angles I can be effective, when I should shoot at the guns, when I should shoot at the superstructure, when I need to switch to HE versus AP. All of those things, I think I would have a slight edge in the battleship battle. But that's just me.
You know what? When training rooms come out, we're going to have to do it.
I'll do it. I ain't scared.
We're going to have to do it. So, but I think we should go ahead and wrap it up. It's a little over 2 hours, and I had a really good time. I think chat had a really good time. Got a lot of Q&A there. You guys learned some things about Spartan you probably didn't know. Maybe you already knew. Thank you, Spartan, for taking the time out of your day, coming and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. It
was a lot of fun. Definitely going to have you on the podcast.
Borderlands 2 thing has to happen. I'm making it a thing right now. Me and you, BL2, let's get it. Like, just give me a date and a time. We'll make this a series. We'll do the whole thing.
I am 100% down. I'm gonna have to learn how to play it again.
We'll learn together. That'll be part of what makes it interesting.
Like, I don't remember. I have just a few mental screenshots of the game, and that's it. Like, it's been that long since I've played it. But it is a co-op thing, and it would be fantastic to be able to play that again. Do we need 2 more people?
No, you can play 2. You can play solo, or you can play with 2. You can play up to 4 people.
Oh man, that'll be a lot of fun. We'll definitely
I would love
have
to get you and Aaron both playing it. Can you imagine the 3 of us playing BL2 together? That'd be hilarious.
I don't know if I don't think he ever played Borderlands 2.
I don't think he did, but that's what I'm saying. It would be hilarious.
It'd be his first time. Papa's Borderlands cherry. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, we're going to have to do it. But with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Spartan, stay with me for a minute. I'm going to play this outro. And with that in mind, everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody being here. I know we had quite a few people in here watching the live stream. A pretty long podcast. I'm going to try and get this ripped over to Spotify at some point. Don't know when. As soon as I can figure out how Spotify works with podcasts. It's kind of weird. But take it easy, everybody. Peace.
Every player on this team is just not good. 7-on-2, and this is the result. Give me one more goddamn teammate.
Can I pen you now?
Go fucking get him, team! God almighty! I was smarter as a sperm! Man, my fucking ass!